Go ahead. You can take it already while recording too. All right, let me join you. Let me join you.
Yeah, let's cheers.
That's right. But so happy you made it, man.
Thanks,
so
man.
happy you made it through here.
Happy to be here.
And we'll test this out. I never had this one before.
Yeah.
So we'll see what this is all about. To loosen up, right?
Yeah, to loosen up.
Hey.
I'll be so tight.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for
you.
having me, man. Thank you
Welcome back to another episode, man. Podcast is growing. We're about to reach, the first 1,000 subscribers. So
let's go.
Very excited. I wanted to bring you over, right? Juan Nieves, mi gente, wrestler, as an athlete, as a coach. Any other sport you played?
Growing up, I played a lot of sports growing up, but in high school, I focused on wrestling, played a little bit of football, cross country, track, but my main focus was definitely wrestling.
So you say you use the other sports to help you, in conditioning and like just to sharpen your wrestling skills?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Definitely with like stamina, endurance, conditioning, strength, lifting weights off season. Definitely all helped me in wrestling, but as wrestling always got closer, I always kind of directed myself to get back on the mat. Just because you can't exchange that for other workouts, just being on the mat.
So Hall of Famer at your high school, right? The high school you went to. You also coach at that same high school.
Correct.
How was that transition from, all right, I'm no longer a student here, now I'm a coach?
Right. So when I was an athlete, student athlete, I was one of the kids that was very like dedicated to the sport. So when the coach would send me off to camps and like clinics to learn stuff, every time I would come back, coach would kind of tell me like, oh, show me what you learned. So like it started like that. I'd come and I'd show them what I learned, and then I'd show the other kids, and then we would run camps and clinics ourselves. Did like a SAIL program, which was like student athletes involved in learning at the YMCA. And I would make copies and all that stuff and kind of get like a pay, like a co-op type deal.
Oh, I see.
But also they had a period that everybody would go to the gym and I'd teach wrestling.
So from very early on, you were like dipping your feet into teaching and coaching, even as a student.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
So like when I was a junior, senior, like freshmen and all that, 8th graders that were coming up, I kind of got to help them and like have my hands on with them. And then I went off to college, got older, and those kids were now in high school. So when I came back to help Coach Sarkis, a lot of those kids were like very young and they were JV, and I got to help Coach Doobie with the JV team.
Oh, so you started
very young, like 21, 22-ish.
And you were already, you came back to high school to help the kids.
Yeah, correct.
That's pretty nice, man.
Yeah.
How do you start wrestling? Like, who got you into it? Is like, does your family, anybody in your family did it before you? Who got you into it?
Right. So no. My dad was in the military, and he was active. He was active duty, and he was a boxer. He grew up as a boxer, and he always wanted us to box. Oh. And he actually went away to like Baghdad in Iraq, and I was already like I already started wrestling because I got in trouble at school. And I got in trouble at school, and I was no longer going to school. They sent me like to an alternative school, and I had to go to a hearing to come back just because I fight every day, act out in class, kind of throw things, just like. Yeah.
Was this middle school or high school?
Yeah, middle school. This was really young, like 5th grade. And I had a hearing at the old Lawrence High, and I remember waiting in there, and my mom was like very upset because she wanted me to go back to school, Yeah. And I was about to go into the room for the hearing, and Coach Tony Sarkis came. He was my health teacher at the time.
Wait a minute, you met him during middle school then?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very early.
I met him like in 5th grade, 4th to 5th grade. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's funny because he was always he was trying to get me to wrestle all the time. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and something else would come up. I go somewhere else and all that. And he always kept like, he was very persistent in like getting me to get on the mat. And that day that he did, he came up and he vouched for me, and he told the person that was leading the hearing, was like, I believe that if he does wrestling, it'll take all that energy
Yeah.
away for him to get in trouble and do other things. So he kind of like, I just wanted my mom to stop crying. So I was like, at the time, I was like, let's go, like get me back into school. I'll try my best.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got back to school, and obviously there was still more bumps in the road, but because of wrestling, it kept me grounded. It gave me something to go to school for, to fight for. And then once I started knowing that I had talent, it was kind of like, wow, I really want to be good at this. I really want to do better. You know what I'm saying?
So you fell in love with it instantly, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right away. Like, I remember being in middle school, and I mean, I used to always get suspended or whatever for fighting, but I'd kind of wait. A kid would talk crap to me. And I'd be like, "Oh, at 2:30, don't worry." Like,
you don't take anything.
I was kind of taking names. Yeah, I was taking names. Like, so, and I was young. I was kind of like one of the smaller guys too. And I remember coach, I'd act out in school, and he lined up the kids, like, and he had me wrestle each and every one of them. But what it taught me, what it taught me was like kind of like to size everybody up. Like, what I'm saying? Oh, he's bigger than me, so he might be stronger, but he's a little slower. I'm going to move my feet. I'm going to make him move, Oh, he's skinny. I'm going to blow right through him. I'm going to be aggressive and just go after him, So it taught me a lot, especially those young years.
Yeah. So childhood was a little rough from what I'm hearing, right? A lot of argument, a lot of fights. Yep. Was dad away in the military at that time? Right. So you were only living with mom.
Yeah.
What role did your mom play at that moment to try to get you back in track? Like, how did that work out?
Yeah, my dad, when I was acting out, it was definitely because my dad was away. Because if he was here, yeah, we wouldn't be acting out. Yeah. But my mom was like, she gave us a lot of love, tough love, nurturing love. So she played like kind of both roles, She was there to like hold us, rub us, tell us she loved us and we were good enough and we were able. And then she was also there to like give us our whoopings when we need them, smack us up.
I mean, she had to, man. If she's doing it on her own at that moment.
Definitely, yeah.
That's tough. Was it just you, or do you have more siblings?
Yeah, I have an older brother. He's 2.5 years older, and then I have a little sister that's 7 years younger. Oh, so it was the three of us, yeah. So
that's a handful for one woman, man. That's a handful. So Sarkis gets you to wrestle. More or less, at what age do you start actually, doing like competitions? And then you actually, what moment did you realize we're like, wait a minute, I think I'm pretty damn good at this.
Right.
When did that happen?
So at first we started small. So like all the elementary schools in Lawrence had their own team. Like the Arlington had their team, the Frost, all the schools had their team, the Oliver, they all had their team. And they'd come over and we have like little dual meets, kind of like we have in the high school, but just with the elementary schools. I feel like Coach Sarkis was at the Frost at that time. So we had kind of an advantage,
Yeah.
We had the real coach with us and we had a lot of kids. And then during the summer, they would have like a tournament, like City of Lawrence kind of tournament, and the old Lawrence High that all those schools would, and they bracket them up and they wrestle. And I remember 7th and 8th grade, I took it serious and like I won it both years. And then I went to a Chelmsford tournament, John Spawn tournament that like some good kids went to. And I was already training like with these really good kids that were winning tournaments. Yeah. And I wrestled all the way to the finals, and I lost against a kid that just knew a little bit more than me.
Had more experience.
Yeah, had more experience, matches, experience. And that was like kind of like my real first tournament. And I was upset, and it motivated me to get better because I thought I could beat him and all that stuff. And, later on, I seen him in high school and he was doing well. I was doing well. So I knew I didn't lose to a scrub. At least I didn't lose to a scrub. Yeah,
that's right. You if you lose, you better make sure you keep going, doing good. Cause man, you can't be a loser and then beat me in a final.
Right.
So that's
I kept looking
funny,
up his
man.
name every
Yeah.
time. I'm like, okay, he did okay. He did
Okay.
okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's important, man. You have to.
Yeah.
Middle school, do they still do weight classes, or was it more like based on age?
Right. So usually when you go to like a middle school tournament, especially back in the days, they do like Madison weights. So they kind of just grab like the first lightest 8, put them in a group. Then the next
Okay.
8, put them in another group. But you see, I was small. I was very small.
Yeah.
So I didn't even weigh 100 pounds in 7th and 8th grade.
Wow.
So sometimes I go to a tournament weighing like 95 pounds, and they'll be like, hey, we really don't have anybody your weight, but do you mind wrestling 125? Do you mind wrestling 120? And
Well, that's a huge kid in comparison.
Yeah. And imagine if you traveled.
Yes.
So now you traveled, you're over there, and you're like, I might as well just wrestle them.
Yeah,
But it helped. It got us better, faster. Yeah. Going against stronger competition definitely helped me move more, pick angles and stuff. So it definitely helped.
I think once you know weight and strength is a factor, there's no other route but sharpen your technique.
Right. Yeah.
So you had to always be looking for ways to, okay, how can I counter his strength?
Right.
How can I move in a way that, like his power is irrelevant? So that makes a lot of sense. Like
technique over power all
exactly. So, and you had to, because you had no other choice.
Yeah.
When you're that strong, sometimes you just
kind of just
bulldoze your way through it. You're not really thinking about technique. You're that strong, but you're not really getting better. Because when you meet somebody who can match your strength,
now you're in trouble.
Now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When was your first actual weight class match? Like when did that happen?
So so I wrestled a couple JV matches like as an 8th grader for Greater Lawrence Tech. Like, a couple matches, coach would have me go against a couple high school kids when I was in 7th and 8th grade. Yeah. I won some, I lost some. Yeah. I remember getting really upset when I would lose. And
sore loser.
Yeah, imagine I was like 13 years old, and some kid that was good on the team at the time. He came up to me, he goes, "Yo, you're gonna be really good. Relax. Like it's gonna come together. Just give it time." And I'm like, nah, I should have beat him. And he was like, "No, you're so young, you're so small. Given these factors, you did really well, and you're gonna be great." And I always remember that he told me that, and it was like, oh, shoot, if he's seen this.
And that was another kid telling you that?
Yeah, like a senior at the time. I was like in 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, he was like
still, that's impressive.
And he was like, yo, dude, like, you think I'm good? When you come to this, you're going to be way better than me. And I was like, and I remembered that kind of motivated me too.
Were you a good listener, like as an athlete? Did you take feedback from your coaches, or like, were you the ones who were like, I'm good enough, I don't need you?
Yeah, so it's funny because it's funny because as wild as I was, and as wild as I was, and I had my ego, and I thought my confidence. You know what I'm saying? I used to always think that coach knew it all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always trusted my coaches. Okay. I was very coachable. He'd push me. He'd game plan with me.
I'm gonna ask him, right? I'm gonna ask him. I'm fact check.
I'm just kidding. Yo, one time I had pink eye, right? And I didn't want to come to school. I had pink eye. And he called me. He called my mom. He was like, "Yo, we need him to come. We have a do me. We have a do me." Whatever. So my mom dropped me off at school. She didn't play that. She was all for wrestling. Yeah. No days off. Like she was on for the ride. Like she was on for the ride. 100%. So I get to school and I go to coach and I'm like, yo, I got pink eye in one eye, my other eye is irritated. I can't really see. And then he was like, okay, listen, we need you today because I think it was against like Greater Low. And he was like, oh, we really need you today to win this meet. So he's like, this is what you're going to do. And he goes, Juan, you're going to shake his hand. When the whistle blows, you're going to turn your back on him. And when you turn your back on him, he's going to charge at you. So turn around and just scoop him up. And once you got your hands on him, then you got him.
Did it work?
So kid you not, I go, I shake his hand. I was like, before I do anything, I'm going to do what coach said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I take a step backwards. I look away and I see everybody like, oh. So when I turned around, yo, he was right there. I just dropped my level, picked him up, and then I put him, and it was quick.
Wow.
So even though I was a little banged up, but that was all coach's idea.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you like to be flashy." You're
Dude, that's risky though.
And I was like, nah, coach put me onto that.
Yeah.
So I used to definitely listen. And
that's a very interesting combination though, because normally when you have somebody, you know, who's that skilled and that prideful about, you know, taking losses in a bad way, or like, you know, not handling very well that losing and like taking a lot of pride in winning, it's normally those kids are not very coachable.
Right, yeah.
But the ones that are, you know, end up doing very well, because you need both. I always tell my kids that ego is not a bad thing in sports.
Right.
Like it's necessary.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's necessary. Obviously, you got to be backed up. That's the tricky part about ego.
Right.
Like it's not just about being, you know, oh, I'm the best, and you don't back it up. No, but you need both.
Yeah.
You need both, because you got to approach it this way, especially on a sport like wrestling. Like I have the opinion of wrestling, I think is like the top hardest, most difficult sport for you to compete in. In the sense of how much wear and tear you put on your body, how difficult the technique is to learn, and then, dude, it's exhausting.
Right.
It is you could be in the peak shape, 2 minutes in the mat with somebody who's just as conditioned as you. It is brutal.
That's brutal. What it is, yeah.
So, you know, it's to have ego. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's why. Because in wrestling, you know, it's you get humbled very, very like.
If you sit down and think about it, you will get humbled quick. Yeah,
quickly, dude.
I feel like some kids don't want to reflect on it because they don't want to be humble. Like, you know
now that I'm thinking about it,
they want to think, "Oh, I did this. How about that match?"
Yes.
When that kid was giving it to you, you know?
So in a sense, doing wrestling, you know, you have to be humbled and to keep that ego under control, because, dude, it is insane how quickly you can get put on your back. And it's not like losing a soccer game.
Yeah, right.
You know, you lose a soccer game, you do feel bad. It's still a competitive sport, but nobody beat me up. Nobody ragdolled me anywhere.
That's what it is,
But in wrestling, like, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens.
In a match. Like, it could go that bad. Like, man, I was useless against that guy. Yeah. So that's got to be humbling.
So no matter how good I was or how good I thought I was always training with somebody better than me.
Yeah. Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
I was always looking for someone to train with that was, like, better than me, that I was trying to be or get better than. There were some kids that were New England champs, 2-time New England champs. And I was still chasing the state title at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I was lucky to be in that group. That everybody was a champion. Everybody was working. I remember I was the youngest one in that group, and all those kids were just hammers. Like, you know, and it definitely made me better. And then in my room, Greater Lawrence Tech, you get a lot of kids that are really tough.
Yeah.
You know.
What class was this?
I graduated 2004.
2004.
Yeah. So you get a lot of kids that are just tough, real tough, you know.
You think, I mean, it definitely helps, right? The environment you're put in, if you have a lot of these really tough athletes who, you know, they turn every stone in the workouts and training, you have to get some of that in you. Like,
right.
It just is contagious. Like, who do you remember that is like, nah, this guy made me work hard, because he was a monster. He was a machine. Anybody like that you came around?
Yeah, nah, nobody pushed me. Nah, yeah, so I had a lot of good partners and drilling partners, and let me tell you, like, when you are trying to push yourself and win titles and like be at the top of your top performance, your partner is very important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had for a lot of years, I had Chris Sullivan. He was one of my favorite drilling partners. He was 1 year behind me. He was a tough kid, project kid that came. Just was tough at first and like didn't have much technique, but once it all came together, now you're seeing him blossom and have an undefeated season. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn, that's who I work with. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got 2 undefeated seasons, mine and his.
And his.
You know what I'm saying?
Because in a way, you're part of their process too. Like the same way they're part of yours. Like it's a two-way thing, you know.
Right. And then, you know, Matt Smith has the barn. And way back when, it was the barn like across the street from his house. And people used to go there, the best people in the area, to get good action. Coach Niceforo used to have Pitbull Wrestling Club. And Andy LaCroix was there, Mike Atlas, all these good kids from the area. And I used to just get in the mix and be lucky to, like, you know, at the time be an 8th grader. And I remember Niceforo calling me and being like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, can you make 98 pounds?" I'm like, "I don't know." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to pick you up. I'm where you in." And then we go to Vermont or whatever to a New England freestyle tournament. And he wrestled me, and I wrestled in this team of, like, all-stars, kind of like, you know, everybody was a hammer, like I said, really good. And I got to start it off with them because they didn't have anybody in my weight. So he called me for the opportunity, and I jumped on it, you know.
That's crazy.
So a lot of opportunities opened up just by being at the right place at the right time, you know.
Oh, that's right.
And willing to.
That's half of the battle. That's half of the battle, man. Like sometimes you need that sprinkle of luck. And what you said is key, right? Like, all right, I got lucky, I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no to this.
No, yeah. And then every opportunity I got, I really took advantage of and, like, wrestled hard and showed out, try to be the best lightweight, try to catch eyes.
Yeah.
You know.
What was your best year?
I think my best year was my junior year.
That's 2003.
2003. That's the year I won states. I should have won states again my senior year, but I didn't make weight, which making weight's very important in wrestling. Yeah, I was 0.1 over. So I couldn't wrestle in states my senior year after winning in my junior year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For 1 pound?
Yeah, an ounce or whatever, 0.1.
What?
Yeah, not a pound, 0.1, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, who's coming up with these rules? Like,
yeah, so
that is so. What is 1 ounce gonna do?
Well, you're over.
But what is 1 ounce gonna do?
Yeah, I understand. So I weighed in, and I got off, and I cried and stuff or whatever. You know, I was a kid, 17-year-old kid, and I cried and stuff. And they didn't, you know, I didn't get a second chance to weigh in. I think some places, sometimes they'd be like, "You can't leave this room, but you get one more try." And then, you know, you do your jumping jacks or whatever you have to do to make it. But I jumped off, and they were like, "Oh, you're done. You're good." It's probably, honestly, that heartbreak is probably a huge reason why I coach today. You know what I'm saying?
Explain.
I feel like at that time, I already did what I wanted to do, which was win states the season before. Now I'm known, and I'm doing well, and, like, everybody's pushing me, everybody's behind me. And then when everybody was there to support me the most, I kind of, like, failed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't make weight. Nobody got to see me take on the giant and see who wins. Like, you know, can I dominate that? Can I win? Can I avenge my one loss? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of left it, like...
So that question mark was always hanging in your head.
Yeah, you know. And then other things too, like, you know, like, I had a bunch of medals, a lot of medals from wrestling since I was young to older. A lot of medals, letters from colleges in a hamper, brackets, because they give you, like, a poster with the bracket on it that, you know, has your name. And I had them all. And then my dad's house had, like, a flood in the basement, and I lost everything. Yeah. So, you know, I remember him calling me over.
Was that the Lawrence flood that happened? What was it, 2005, 2000?
So it was around that time, 6, maybe 7, yeah.
Because I remember that flood, because I was here in Lawrence by that time.
Yeah.
I just moved like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, was I a sophomore? No. Because did this happen after you graduated high school?
Yeah, so I was in college. And I remember my dad.
Had to be that flood.
Yeah, I remember my dad calling me and showing me, like, a box, and it was, like, all rusty water, and I was like, "Yeah, just get rid of that." So I had nothing to really fall back on. So I really wanted to help anyway. You know, I wanted to help, and I was like, you know, I could put my name out there for something else. You know, like coaching and leading the kids and stuff. So the Hall of Fame I have is as an athlete, which I really don't have nothing else to show for, but the Hall of Fame's there. So maybe, hopefully one day we could get the Hall of Fame for coaching too, and then
Dude,
it'll be complete. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
nice though, because you took a bad experience of your senior year. Dude, 1 ounce, I still cannot get over that.
Yeah.
But you made it into, you know what? Let me be somebody who can guide a kid so this doesn't happen.
Right.
And that's nice. That speaks very highly of you too.
Yeah.
When did you started like coaching officially? Okay, I'm the head coach, and let's go.
Yeah. So after a couple times, like that time when I came back from school, I came and helped Coach Sarkis, and then I went through my own problems and stuff, being a young adult, trying to figure it out. So I kind of like stepped away from wrestling for like 4 or 5 years or so.
Oh, okay.
And then Coach Adam Porrell had the team, and they were struggling just like number wise. They had some good kids on the team, but just number wise, they couldn't like fill all the weight classes, and they were taking a lot of losses and stuff. And I was doing better, working, figuring it out. So I remember coming to a practice and like really helping Coach Porrell. And Coach Porrell was like, "Hey, I got coaches right now, but you're more than welcome to come and volunteer and help." And I was like, "Don't worry, Coach. Someone's gonna fall off, and when they fall off, that spot's mine." Yeah.
So you started as a volunteer.
So I started as a volunteer. So I came back, and then even as a volunteer, Porrell would, he'd give me a lot of responsibilities and like all that stuff. And someone fell off. I came in as an assistant for like 2-3 years, helping, going there religiously every day, not missing the practice. The way you're supposed to do when you're trying to earn your stripes,
Exactly.
And then he decided to step away from coaching, and this was like 2016. He decided to step away, and he came to me. He told me, I'm gonna step away from coaching. I think that you should apply. You're a good candidate. So yeah, I applied, and that summer I was working, and I got the call to start coaching, and it was great, And then Miss Gillis kind of like called me and was like, "Hey, I know you're gonna be the coach and stuff, but I think you'd be great at this other position that I have available," which was the in-school security, being at the Vogue Tech.
Oh, so you started as a coach first?
Yeah, so I got hired as a coach, and then shortly after, I kind of got called, and they were like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, how much is it?" And they're like,
"Right,
I don't know how much you're getting paid, but it might be better." I'm like, "All right, I'll go through the motions," and then it was a lot better.
Dude, going back to the volunteering part, right? Because it's you're the second guest that brings the importance of volunteering. I was lucky enough to have an interview with Brian Thomas, the photographer.
Yep.
And he was explaining to me how he got into being the photographer for the baseball, World Series of the Little League, and he started as a volunteer, man. And it's funny after hearing you, after hearing him. I have other people that they do a lot of volunteering work, but most people, they see that as something dumb.
Right.
It's like, "Oh, you're just wasting your time. How are you working for no money?" They don't really see the opportunities in volunteering, man.
Right.
And like the knowledge you absorb from watching all the other coaches.
Yeah.
Right. And then the doors you open up just for being there.
Right.
And like you said, if you're smart enough and you show up and you do the job as if you were getting paid, because you're supposed to do it, don't half-ass it only because you're volunteering. Because the opportunity will come. Right. And when it does, if you've been doing your job correctly, they will give you that opportunity. Yeah. They will. And it worked for you. It worked for Brian. And it's a message, man. Like, kids should do that more often.
Right.
And they got to start walking away from that mentality of, nah, volunteering, that's a waste of time. Like, on the contrary.
Yeah, like, I agree.
That's how you start. That's how you get, a lot of doors to open.
Yeah, I think that if you put a dollar sign to it, then you're gonna want to coach and want to get something from it.
Yeah.
But if you're here to make kids better and to grow the sport and to help somebody or whatever, then that's the first goal.
Exactly.
Once you know that you're part of a team and that you could change somebody's life, or you could pump them up, motivate them to be better or better than they ever imagined, because some of these kids don't even know what they're capable of, right? So once you start doing that and you see that you're accomplishing that, then you're like, okay, I could do this. Because even if they pay somebody a paycheck and you can't motivate a kid, you can't teach a kid, you can't help a kid.
Yeah, if you're not willing to do it for free, then
attached to that,
it's not gonna change when you start getting paid.
Right,
like, you're gonna have the same same mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just
and
here.
then and what carries people through volunteering or whatever is work ethic.
Oh yes,
even 100%. As an
100%.
athlete, as a worker, as a father, your work ethic, like how much you willing to put in, how much you willing to struggle while you're putting in, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's another one, right? Like, in you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but you had a kid very early on, right? Were you volunteering and when you already had your first kid, or was that something that happened afterwards?
Yeah, so when I had my 3 daughters, I was a single father, and I kind of had them like one day a week and then every other weekend.
So they were already born, and you were volunteering your time. So like, just like see the full picture in that, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Like, you're taking care of your kids, and you're volunteering your time, right, to do something that it might get you somewhere, it might not.
Right.
So just that alone, just like, like, there's a sacrifice to be made. There's a little bit of a gamble, if you want to say it, but that's how much you care about the sport.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, my kids probably say I give too much time to wrestling, but you know what I'm saying?
They might be right.
From young, especially my teenage girls and stuff. Oh man, they're like, he's still doing that crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it definitely paved the way for us, and like gave us a living, you know?
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. So props to you, because like, at that time your mind, was definitely busy already. You had a full plate trying to take care of kids. Like, kids are not easy, man. So you're going through your own struggles, but you still had the discipline to dedicate your time to learning something, chasing after a possibility. That's what you're doing, chasing after a possibility.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing secure. How is that? How do you manage those times? Like, if you manage them at all, right? Like,
through all the tough times and all that stuff, wrestling has been very honest to me. Wrestling's been really honest to me when I'm hurting, and I wrestle, I can feel it. When I'm joyful and going through its good times too, and everything kind of correlates together. Just like my passion for wrestling, like I feel like through every hole and all that stuff, it's the kids that are the backbone to why I go, why I get up every morning, why I work, why I coach. They definitely get me through everything, and then that's not always perfect either, the life with the kids and not being like having all my kids with me and stuff, that's a struggle too. So when all that fails and everything, I definitely direct it to God and my faith in God and stuff, and that always helps me push through. Just because if I can't control it and I have no control of anything, for some reason God always finds a way for me and gets me through it.
That's beautiful.
So yeah.
So you always find comfort in God, right? Something that you it's always there for you.
Yeah.
It seems like you had wrestling to like help you with that mental part of it, like keeping your emotions in check, keeping your head straight, and then your kids as motivation to just never stop, just keep going.
Never quit. Yeah,
dude, it's it is very difficult for people, especially young adults who are trying to figure out life, to find those pillars, like finding those pillars, to hold your life. It is very difficult, man. And some people have one, but then the house is tilted, right? Because you're missing a couple more.
Yeah.
And when did you feel like, or did you ever felt like, nah, dude, I'm done. Like, I can't do this no more. Let me just, I'll get another job, and and then just try to make a living over here and just stop pursuing that. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, man. Beautiful times, beautiful times. Yeah. So I was struggling. I was struggling in life. You know, I had my 3 daughters. I was renting a room and stuff. And I remember, you know, I didn't have time to be coaching wrestling at this time. I was working a couple jobs, a part-time, a full-time, you know, helping out in the house, paying child support, you know, always some things you can't dodge, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to like really find my way through, right? So I remember applying for the Frost for like a janitor position, right? And they had a guy that was already there per diem. And we made the finals against each other. And, you know, I wanted to get a stable job with a good pay so that way I could start redirecting my life, like trying to figure it out. And I thought I did well. And I remember like, again, you know, I'm gonna get a little personal, but
That's
you know,
okay, man.
I remember coming back home and getting a phone call, and the phone call was that I didn't get the position. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I didn't get the position, and I was like, you know, I was like, damn, I gotta get home because I have a lot of emotions. I'm like, damn, am I always gonna be a bum? I'm never gonna figure it out. I'm a loser, like, you know what I'm saying? So I end up going home, and as I get home, you know, I'm going through it, and I became powerless, and I ended up on my knees. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of crying and whimpering and like asking why am I not good enough and all this stuff. And when I noticed, you know, and this was like a time that I was in the streets heavy and like running around, not doing the right thing, chasing the wrong things and stuff. And I became powerless and like, and I found myself just asking God, like, why ain't I good enough? Please find a way, help me out and all that stuff. And, you know, I wasn't even attached to wrestling. And that was a beautiful moment, you know what I'm saying? That as weak as I was, after that, things started getting better. I started finding a way. And then I found that automotive job and I started working it shortly after. Even though I'm working there, I'm interviewing for a coaching job. So that brought wrestling back, you know what I'm saying?
So you never stopped chasing it.
So yeah, so even when I let it go, it kind of came back as the way, you know what I'm saying? So, and now I look as a coach and I kind of look and I'll be like, I can't imagine doing anything else, man. Like it's the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really love what I do. I know it takes up a lot of time. Especially this year, I had kids that are more determined, more into it, all about it, want to win, want to put on for themselves, the school, me, their parents, everybody that supports them. So you don't take breaks when that happens, you know?
Exactly.
I have to show them too that I'm willing to ride out with them as hard as they're willing to ride out. So like the fact that at one point I did think that I had to let it go and all that stuff. And then every time I like stop and I think and I look, it's like, wow, man, I couldn't write this story better.
You know what's funny to me? Whenever you hear like a famous person, and then they're famous, and then you hear their background story, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, yeah, of course." And, you know, and they make it like they had like the words, and some of them do, some of them have. But dude, if you really think about it, the only reason our stories don't hit it as much is because we're not famous. But our stories are just as cruel. Our stories are just as, you know, are powerful. Because dude, it's the everyday struggle of the regular man, the regular person. You know, my man, like we're out here.
No, and then just to think, you know, I'm 39. I'm gonna be 40 soon. I still got wrestling in my life. Still got all this. Imagine if I didn't have this, and I was 40. Dude, now what? What am I gonna do with myself? What am I picking up a trade? Am I getting re-educated? Am I working hard? Am I moving up? Like, you know, I'm lucky. We lucky we got this like foundation. You know, because I could just imagine being a middle-aged male and being like, imagine you worked in a warehouse all your life, and then like they're like, oh, we're not gonna need you anymore. You're gonna, and then now you're trying to find a new way. So. And the thing definitely is, blessed, man.
It's a possibility, right? So it's scary at the same time. So we tend not to think too much about it, but it is a possibility, right? Like we don't have like super security. when it comes to our jobs. Like,
Yeah.
we've been blessed enough to, put in enough work to carve a path that gets us in a place where, like,
Right.
I like what I'm doing. I like this, and it's fulfilling, and it's, I always forget the words. It's very gratifying to see the kids improvement over the years. They start one way, and then you see them that they're not just a better athlete, but a better person
Right.
overall.
Yeah.
And dude, that keeps you sane. That
Yeah.
keeps your sanity going on, and it gives you fuel to keep on doing it another year,
Yeah.
and then another year.
Right.
Like, I remember telling my girls from the soccer team that I was only going to coach 4 years. I'm already prepping for my 6th year.
That's how it
I'm
goes.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Lord, I'm trapped here. But it's because
Yeah.
of what you mentioned. Like,
Yeah.
it is very enjoyable, and it really helps with your mental stability. Like,
Right.
no. When I'm thinking about wrestling and how do I improve these people, I don't have time to worry about the rest of the nonsense.
No. Yeah.
I'm focused. I'm focused. Let me
Yeah.
work. Let me focus on this, because they need me,
Yeah.
and in a way, I need them.
Right. Right. No.
I need them. So this keeps
100%.
me going, and I enjoy it, and I get to help people in something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
And that is beautiful, man. You gotta cheer for that.
Yeah.
one.
Cheers, man.
That is
For sure.
That is lovely, man. And this thing is very good, man. You just got me hooked.
Yeah.
I really like this one. You don't even need juice or nothing.
Nothing straight, right?
Yes, that
I
is
just brought it
lovely.
just in case, but yeah, I got a nice little taste to it.
That is
I'm actually
lovely.
gonna add a little more.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take a refill too, man. It's just hook me up. But listen, did you had anybody who you could talk to? Because we're men, we don't really talk about feelings, man. Why is that? Why would you think that that's like where does that come from? Like, is it the way we were raised? Is it the way life just happens? Or why don't we talk about feelings, man? Why do we fall into this place of, nah, we're men, we don't cry?
Right. So I feel like first off, I think I'm gonna fall into that category of men that don't cry, men that don't talk about it, right? Not and I feel like sometimes, right, when we do, or when I do, I feel like when I do want to express myself, or like, I guess, complain a little or whatever, just kind of like express myself, it gets shut down sometimes, it gets shut down. So people will be like, oh, eso no es nada. Oh, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. Like, you're a strong individual. You got, what I'm saying? So then, because it was projected out there, nobody grabbed onto it, then I kind of sit back and I'm like,
why bother?
I was doing better as keeping my mouth shut.
Why bother?
And, I don't think it's healthy, but I think that's where a lot of us have gone to, like, I tried expressing myself, but nobody gave a damn. Like,
And that's the harsh reality, man. That's the harsh reality. At the end of the day, even like minor things, right? You might just say them just to see, all right, let me see if anybody, and then you get no feedback at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's
Yeah,
me. Let's go to work.
Yeah.
But it's I was trying to avoid it, but I think it's very important, right? Like, we're just gonna mention it on the surface real quickly, right? But what happened to our friend, dude? That one hurt me. Hurt me a lot.
Hurt me too.
And it was somebody that I spent a lot of time with over the past years. Like, every lunchtime, we were in the weight room together working out.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind. So I'm like, in a way, after what happened, I kept on saying to myself, man, how did I not realize? Did he ever said anything and I brushed it off? Like what you just mentioned, right? Like, did he ever mention? And I'm trying to go back to every conversation we had in the weight room.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of anything he might have said. But at the same time, I have this little, I don't know, it bothers me that I'm like, man, what if he actually said something and I brushed it off like it normally happens whenever we try to say something, and we just like, nah, man, that's life. And then we make a bad joke about it, and then we keep moving on. Like, and I wonder that, like, I don't know. So I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to be more open towards talking to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're men. Life treats us a little bit different in regards of our emotions. But, you know, then you have things like this happening. You're like, could that be avoided if we only expressed ourselves just a little bit more?
Right.
And now I wonder.
You know, I got a lot of love for Coach. I met Coach as well in like 7th, 8th grade, you know, and he brought me everywhere. You know, he brought me to some families' houses that we pulled up in the parking lot, and I'd be like, yo, we made it. You know, because they had 3-decker with an attic and big garage. We had mats on it, and, you know, decked out house. And, you know, he brought me everywhere. And then he was a huge part of my success in my early years and being state champ and winning state Volks and all that. He put a lot of time into me, you know, training me like hands-on. You know, he would get down and dirty with me. So I give him a lot of love and respect.
Because he was always in great shape.
Yeah, Jesus. And he wouldn't stop. Yeah. And then he left to Lawrence High. After my junior year, he left to Lawrence High and stuff. And we always stayed tight. You know, even if we like battled against each other, you know, he would avoid me the whole week.
Oh, because you guys were coaching.
Yeah, and, you know, he's in the hallway by the gym. He avoid me. I walk the other way too. You know, and then after we always talked about it, it was good. And I definitely seen a change in him. And I knew it was unhealthy. You know, as a friend, I wish I could have done more as well. You know, I wish I could have been there more, done more. I really do remember, like, during wrestling season, like, you know, he was no longer coaching wrestling. I feel like wrestling was like his baby, you know. And, you know, he wasn't coaching at Lawrence High, so he would like grab his bag and he'd walk through the building. He'd walk through the cafeteria where we practice, and he'd be like moping and walking slow all the time. And I'm always like, you know, I would tell him like, yo, if you want to get back on the mat, bro, throw on your shoes. Like, you know, come get it. He's like, nah, I'm done. I'm gonna head home or whatever. And, you know, never really knew what was going on. I wish I would have like went to his house and like, you know, shared a beer with him and stuff and talked. But kind of knew what was going on, but didn't really know, because like we say, right, we keep everything in. We don't talk about things and stuff like that. But and the reason why like there's a sense of like emptiness is because like kind of like we knew there was something. I knew there was something, but like I didn't know how to get there. Like, you know, I didn't know how to navigate to get there or what to ask, or, you know, and it was just like I cared about him and stuff, you know. I remember one day I even just walked in his room and I told him, you know, we care about you, we love you and stuff. And he was like, oh, thanks, Juan, or whatever. And I remember that just because I seen him, and that day I seen that he was struggling that day, you know. And I walked out, and I turned around, I went back in and I told him that. And then he was like, why you say that? Or whatever, you know. You know, tough, and he was like, what do you mean? I'm in the best shape of my life. He's flexing, you know. Yeah. You know, and that's how he was. I remember being young, and he was always like breakdancing and like flexing, and like we went to his house, and he was Italian, so we had like a jalapeno eating contest and stuff. And you know, I was like, oh, you know, try to throw it down completely, try to swallow the whole thing. He's like, oh, you gotta bite it, try again. I'm like, dang. But good times, you know, good times. And I never could imagine that. You know, I want to remember the good times.
Yeah. And I think that that's for the better too. Man.
Yeah.
Like it happened. We were not, you know, from the very early on, nobody ever told us, you know, how to navigate these waters, how to work with our emotional health. So how are you supposed to do it, you know, like out of nowhere as an adult, when everything was like, no, just push it down, just shove them feelings down. Right. So now I think you're right on, man. It's remember the good times and then try to do better from there, and that's all we can do, man. But it was a hard hit for me, and it made me reset the way I'm educating my kids. I have an 8-year-old. I have a about to be 3-year-old right now.
Right.
And in a way, I was doing my thing. Just doing my best to be a good parent.
Yeah.
Then when this happened, I'm like, how do I go about this now? Like something changed in me, and it really did, man. Because now I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta make my kids tough because they're 2 boys. You gotta make them tough.
Right.
They have to. There's no.
The world.
That's not an option. But at the same time, how do I make him tough and still teach him to communicate with me, or communicate with somebody, talk to somebody about certain things that you don't know how to handle, because that's key, man. And it's what you said is correct. I'm taking all the good, all the great memories, and try to keep them alive. All the good teaching, because that's the only thing we can do now, right? Keep his memory alive. Everything he did teach,
right?
Keep it here, and that's the way to respect his legacy. And then I'm doing my best to now try to teach my kids that it's okay to talk, right?
Yeah.
It's without letting go of the tough man part,
right? Yeah.
Because we have to, man. This world will eat you alive, buddy.
Yeah.
Can't be soft out here.
Yeah,
it can't be.
I have a 12-year-old at home, and sometimes I feel like that generation is a little bit older than like the 8, the right after, right a little bit earlier. Are very quiet. They put their head down. They go to their room.
Yeah.
And it's like, kind of like they think like people don't like them, or like that depression type. And it's like, no, you're part of a family. We love you.
Yes.
Like you could be great. You're gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? Come out, smile, work with us, talk with us.
Right. You
know
have
what I'm saying? Sea gente, be people.
Yeah.
Because you close yourself up as video game or screen,
dude,
and it just keeps leading
so
you down.
Dangerous, dude. It's so bad.
So definitely, like back in the days when we were kids, we had board games, card games. We would go to the baseball field and play together. Like they don't have that no more.
But for kids, I kind of mentioned it to Brian in last time I was here with him too, talking about the same topic. Dude, social media, it's a powerful tool in both directions.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Because it could really boost your ego and self-awareness in a positive way.
Right.
But the problem is we're humans. We don't use technology for the proper reasons.
Right,
now, ever since technology was created, we just got lazier and lazier.
No, 100%.
And now, dude, like these kids are comparing themselves constantly to the perfection that Instagram shows you. Because in Instagram, everything's perfect.
Right, yeah.
That's not the reality, dude. You know how much AI is in that picture?
Yeah.
That's not real. But that's what you're comparing yourself to. Right. So when you're out here looking, you don't have those best muscles out there, and then you see somebody else like, oh my God, best car, best houses, best clothing, best everything. You're constantly comparing. We didn't have that, luckily.
No, thank
we
God.
Didn't, dude.
Thank God, yo, for real.
We would have been miserable.
Yeah,
miserable. Definitely. So but it's also new for us as parents to raise kids with all of this. Our parents didn't have to deal with these problems.
No,
we do though.
Yeah,
we do. Like,
oh yeah.
And there's no handbook for it, so we're just winging it as we go, doing our best. Is. It's complicated, man. Are your kids into sports? You told me that there's one of them who's wrestling, right?
Right. Yeah. So, again, thank God, we're a wrestling family.
Yeah, man. That
but even my 12-year-old, he goes to the Partham, and he played football. He played basketball, but now he's starting wrestling.
Oh, wow.
He's a 7th grader. I'm hoping that, he falls into it, loves it as much as we do, but he's coming to wrestling, so that's good. My 7-year-old's all the way in. He loves it. Since diapers, he's been wrestling everybody, man. Shooting on people, trying to take them down. So hopefully, sky's the limit, and for both of them, really.
Yeah.
And then I have one of my daughters, and at Greater Lawrence. She's a sophomore. She's my manager.
Oh,
So she's
okay.
in the game as well. And then
So you literally do have a wrestling family.
And then my other daughter, she's a cheerleader, but she's a junior at Haverhill, and she's a manager over there for the wrestling team too.
Okay. So yeah.
As much as they be like, oh, you focus too much on wrestling, they always come back.
Yeah.
They come back, and hopefully and I get excited when they tell me, I'm thinking about being the manager. I'm thinking about getting on the books, because now they get to learn the sport that I love.
Yes, exactly.
Because they probably think it's annoying when I talk about it all the time and how I talk about it, but now they can have their own experience in the sport. It's beautiful.
That's beautiful, man. That's amazing. Are you afraid of, because the new era is more and more wrestlers, especially the good ones, are falling into MMA. Have you thought of that? Because MMA is growing, dude. Friggin' the UFC is just getting just as big as any sport out there.
Yeah.
I mean, UFC is the company, not the sport, but MMA is getting just as big as any, you got one championship, the PFL, all these freaking leagues are coming up, and they're doing big things. And every time more and more wrestlers are going into it, because there's more, unfortunately, wrestling, for some reason, there's no money there, man. Like when it comes to compare it to the other sports, wrestlers, and it's so unfair, because the
grind is tough.
Is horrible.
Right. We're never gonna get the love and respect that we feel like we deserve, but we're gonna fight for it. It's frustrating, but we know what it is. Us wrestlers know what it is, and we know that if a top guy isn't a wrestler, he's not gonna understand. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna think it's a third world sport. Mm-hmm. They're on, when they get here, we'll give them some love. But for right now, they're a little bit less. But yeah, that's a problem that we run into all the time. Is after college and getting gold medals and all that, can I make some money? Can I make it to the Olympics? You got to be very special to make it to the Olympics, And then from the Olympics, you can get sponsored and all that. College now has NIL deals. You can make money, but way back when there was really nothing, if you're with better than average wrestler, it kind of ended there. You know what I'm saying? But now with the MMA, a lot of kids do want to focus in and head that direction. When I started doing Bravehearts Wrestling and in the 10th Club, 978, in the gym there, it was an MMA gym. And I was teaching the wrestling there. So they had wrestling, they had jiu-jitsu, they had Muay Thai, kickboxing, they had boxing, and I was teaching the wrestling in an MMA gym. So there was a lot of MMA guys that would come into the wrestling class and vice versa. Some kids that were wrestling were trying to go to the MMA gym. I always loved the mix and all martial arts and just being around, even trying to be a cornerman for boxing or hold pads for kickboxing or whatever.
Yeah.
Just all of them, I got love for just all of it as one. So I love the thought of MMA, and I think that wrestling is one of the top arts, if not the top art.
I'll say it is the most important one.
Right.
If you look at, I follow the UFC big time.
Yeah.
Dude, all the best wrestlers are either top 2, 1 contenders or the champ.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of champions.
So wrestling is very sought after. So now that you mention it, you're right. Like MMA is actually bringing a lot of opportunities for wrestlers to make extra money, because you need wrestling coach, even if your athlete is an MMA fighter. Because the wrestling background, dude, is so important.
Right.
So now that I think about it, it is the fact that MMA is growing is actually a good news for wrestling.
Definitely, yeah.
Because wrestling, it is the backbone. It's wrestling and everything else you learn it. But you need the wrestling background.
I think more than 80% of the fights that start on their feet end up on the ground.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Couple punches thrown, they tangle up. Now they're grappling and they hit the ground. A lot of matches gonna end there. So Wrestling is huge.
MMA just opened up, a whole avenue
Right.
for wrestling to make more money.
Right.
Because I always found it unfair. Like that there was very little money in wrestlers, like
Right.
top wrestlers. Like I never seen like is like tournaments, like no TV time, no TV enough.
Right.
They announce every sport. There's no love for wrestling, which is
Right.
so
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. Yeah, they just show the national tournament on ESPN at the end of the year.
Really?
That's all they kind of show. It's like in mid-February, unless you got like subscription to like the Big 12 network or something like that. It's kind of like all they show. But now they're starting a couple leagues. There's a couple different leagues that they're starting, like RAF and like Claw and stuff like that. That is like kind of team for team, trying to make like a league and like, just mix it up.
What about YouTube channels who like are streaming? Like, 'cause, dude, we have all the technology now available. Like the wrestling community, could get that done now and like make more noise.
Right. That's what Raph and Claw and all that are doing. They're using those other channels, and
because you guys deserve it, man. Like wrestling is tough. I did wrestling my sophomore year for high school.
Nice.
Because a lot of my friends were playing football and wrestling.
Right.
That was the combo. And they kept on telling me, you should try it out. You should try it out. You should try it out. My sophomore year, they convinced me. So I went. I did it. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. Because the problem is, right, I was a soccer player always. So I play soccer all year round. So I was missing soccer for wrestling. So it was very hard for me to, even though I enjoyed it, because it was a lot of fun, especially the workouts. Dude, the workouts are so brutal.
Yeah,
they're brutal. But I was that type of athlete.
Right.
Like beat me up, because that's gonna make me stronger. So, but I remember Nelson Diaz. Hopefully, somewhere in there he sees this video. Dude, he was a little bit shorter than me, and I was already a short kid. We were same height, pretty much, same weight. But he did wrestle freshman year. And then, of course, he did his sophomore year. We go in there. I'm brand new. And then he was freaking good, man. He was pretty damn good. I remember he grabbed me in. I'm like, dude, I was so useless against him.
Yeah.
He beat me up so bad that day. I'm like, dude, Nelson, I thought you were my friend.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, let's go again. But it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. I just never didn't stick because I had so much love for soccer.
Right.
I've been doing soccer my whole life.
That's cool.
So it couldn't match up. But it's something that I want my kids to do, to experience at least. Experience. Because with my kids, we have the punching, the gloves, the pads.
Nice,
and we wrestle here at the house, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I just grab them and toss them around.
Right.
And they figure it out. But I'm definitely going to push for them to experience a little bit of it, because I think it's super important, man. Because again, it's very humbling. I thought I was an athlete until Nelson just beat the crap out of me.
It's tough, especially when he was getting into his second year. So when he seen you, he was like, let me show him what I got. Yeah. The second year, everybody always comes back brand new.
Yeah,
brand new. I like to plug something in real quick.
Yes, please.
So I'm at Prophecy RTC on Tuesdays. That's 360 Merrimack Street in South Lawrence. Prophecy is a wrestling club ran by Zach Bridson. Great trainer. He's a wizard, really on the mat. He great technique. The reason I bring this up is because we're starting a youth program it's kind of like a scholarship program for kids in from the community of Lawrence. They could come and try it out 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Yo, what ages?
Building J. So it starts 5 to like 12 years old.
Oh, so I could get Liam in there.
Yeah, the kids could be there
I could get Liam in there. You
want to bring it up, yep.
All right.
I'm definitely like now I'm going to transition more to like the Greater Lawrence practices, but Zach's always there. And Tuesdays I'll be bouncing in.
Oh, right, because your season just started.
Yeah, my season's about to start.
About to start.
But man, Methuen Youth has a wrestling club too. There's one in Haverhill, there's one in Andover, North Andover, but there's not one in Lawrence. You know, so all these kids in Lawrence grow up not knowing about wrestling. But Prophecy's right here in South Lawrence, kind of easy to get to, right across the street from like the bus station.
Yeah.
At Riverwalk there. And yeah, I'm trying to build and do good things. You know, I'm hoping that like
you gotta
all
hook me
these
up
alumni
with the
and
contact,
stuff.
because I gotta start taking Liam.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have to.
Nah, it'll be awesome. Yeah, and my kid's gonna go there too. I got a couple other kids that are like 5, 6, 7 years old, or whatever, that are gonna start going too. I'm hoping that more alumni that went to school around my time, your time, and anybody that kind of knows me and as a kid feels confident enough to bring them to me over there, and we could start working and get the next generation going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's beautiful. What's up with the upcoming wrestling season?
Okay.
How many kids you have? How's the program looking, and what's the expectation?
Yeah, so I'm going into my 9th season as head coach. Yeah, it's been
almost a decade.
It's been a heck of a ride. You know, hope to keep riding. I'm just getting started, I feel like, or you know, we're moving now. We're moving, but unfortunately, when I first took over the team, you know, 4 years in was COVID. You know, my 4th and 5th year, a little bit my 6th, was kind of like the COVID years that kind of like set us back. It put us back again. Yeah. So I had that first 4 or 5 years to build, and I kind of feel like we had a team similar to where we are now that was promising, had a mix of young kids, older kids, but we had a good little lineup, and then COVID struck, you know, and that set everybody back. And it set us back. Our numbers took a hit, and then we kept building. You know, we didn't let that bother us. We went with whatever was in the room, and you know, we took care of them, and we had a couple champs on the way, some successful times, and now we're here. That I feel like we have a good lineup, real good lineup. We have a couple hammers in our lineup as well, but we also got moved up to Division 1. Yeah, so that's gonna be a challenge in itself. You know, we were Division 2 eight years ago when I took over the team. I remember getting an email, and they were asking us to move down to Division 3. And at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to move down, because Division 2 has teams in the area like Whittier, Greater Lowell, North Andover, you know, those schools that Merrimack Valley. Like, why go somewhere where we don't have any neighboring towns?
Exactly.
You know,
you're always traveling far.
Right. So I wanted to keep the Division 2. So we kept the Division 2. Now we fast forward to now, and then moved us to Division 1. I always wanted to kind of like be like the top dog, like first or second in Division 2, and be like, wow, these guys are kind of like taking over now, move up. Yeah. But it's a little bit premature, but I think we're ready. I think my kids been working hard. A lot of kids been going to different clubs and putting in that pain, you know, that work and that pain. So I'm excited I get really excited for the kids that are working hard, you know, the kids that put in the work, the kids that care, you know, the kids that know that it's not a 2-3 month season. It's a 10-month season.
It's a 10-month.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So those kids I really get excited for. Obviously, the other ones that come back and wrestle, I get excited for them. And then there's another set of kids that I get really excited for, which are the kids that wrestle because it takes up their time. It gets them off the street. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing
so they have a different purpose. It's
right. Like, so I like those kids too, you know.
You're better off here with us than out there just doing nonsense.
Easily could get lost in the shuffle and stuff. So I get a couple of those kids too that like really make it enjoyable. Cause you could tell when a kid like that's really enjoying it. Yeah. And he's learning, and he's like, yo, what time is practice again tomorrow, coach? Oh, I'll be there, you know. And you're like, damn, you asked me 3 times. Like, but is that they're really feeling it. So, yeah, we got some good kids. I mean, just today, they came out with some state rankings, and like Isaac Diaz was there. He's my 113 pounder. He's a senior. Cole Mallin's a sophomore. He's very talented, very promising. Caleb Reynolds, he's a senior captain, and He's been putting in a lot of pain, a lot of work. And my heavyweight junior, over the summer, he became a freshman All-American and came out of nowhere. So he's trying to put his name out there and like really fight for what he's about. And Jordan Reynolds, because we got a girl team as well, and my girls team is really tough. I think they should be competing for a D1 state title.
Ooh.
You know, it's a number game too, but with everybody returning and a couple of additions to the team, I think we're right there. So it's gonna be fun.
That's lovely, man, and best of luck.
Thank you.
I don't know, anything you left out that you might want to share before we wrap it up? It's been fun, man. I'm so happy you decided to say yes. It took some convincing, though.
Nah, it took a little bit. You know, I'm always working, always around with the family, but I'm happy I made it, and I'm happy we got to sit
when
down.
I started the podcast, I was only doing Spanish episodes, so I think you were a little bit afraid of that.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it right here. Like, I remember one year I did like a translating before you did the translating, because I know you did some translating for the school as well. And one year I had to do it with COVID years. You know, I had to do a translating on Zoom, and I didn't know what I signed up for.
Oh, it's tough, man. It's not easy.
I tried to go off the fly, and I'm seeing some of the parents like, and calling their husband, yo, come listen to this guy. Come listen to this guy mess it up. Come on. And they were all sitting down. They're like, "Yo, cracking up."
Fucking comedy show.
I think even told them in Spanish, "Yo, don't mind, but you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to get through this and get my check."
It's not easy, man. Translating is not easy, and because you were born and raised here in the U.S.
Yeah, I was actually born in Utah again, because my dad was in the service. He was part of the army, so we moved around a lot. So I was born in Utah.
So you have some Latino in you, but you're from here.
I'm all Latino.
You're from here. You're from here. You know. Come on, hey, you know.
It's true. You know. I love my Latino race and Puerto Rican and all that. I love it to death. But definitely when I go to Puerto Rico, they call me like el rubio,
el gringo.
Yeah, el gringo, because I'm from here, light skin, you know. And you know, don't know the Spanish the way they speak it and stuff. So they definitely give it to me. Yeah. They definitely give it to me, man. It's all good. But after like a week or two of being there, you notice you start picking up quick.
Yeah. Do your parents speak Spanish?
Yeah. So my mom and dad both speak Spanish. I remember in the house, my mom used to say she didn't know Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't know English.
Oh,
she used to be like,
so we would have you to practice your English.
She would force us to talk, you know, in the house Spanish and all that. And then, you know, a couple times we caught her talking English. We're like, I knew you knew English, you know.
That's what I told Liam. Liam, like, he knows, like, as soon as I walk into the house, I forget English.
Yeah.
I don't know English. So in this house, we don't speak any
That's
English
good though,
at all. So their Spanish is super fluent, because you have to do it like that though, because then they will forget it.
Yeah.
They will forget it. And you know, Liam wasn't born here, but dude, he came to this country when he was 8-9 months old.
Yeah.
So he's, dude,
yeah, he was born here.
pretty much.
Not without being born here.
Exactly, pretty much. Like at 8 months of age.
Yeah.
So all he knows is here. He doesn't know Honduras. Yeah. So you have to force it. There's no other way. Yeah. Like I make it a point to we sit down and write, practice or writing or reading in Spanish.
Yeah. I'm happy my mom forced it as much as she did.
Yeah. But as you grow older, you do forget a lot of it. So like with Liam, we even go to the extreme of like all the TV we watch is in Spanish.
Okay.
Like all the shows, like YouTube channels and stuff in Spanish, buddy. No. We forget English as soon as we walk into the door.
Yeah.
And it's worked so far, but obviously he's only 8.
Right.
We'll see how long he can keep that up. But I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that
it'll keep it. Because even the times that she forced us to talk, like I'm happy that I know enough to like talk and defend myself and like
if you go to Puerto Rico, like do you do Spanish only, or like do you have to mix it in?
Yeah, I try to start talking Spanish right away. Yeah.
Like does the family back there? You have family back there?
Yeah, I do. I do have family. So, the older generation, you know, they talk Spanish and stuff. So the generation like my age, maybe a little younger, They have cable TV and internet, so they know a little bit. They be teaching themselves the English, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With me, when I was born in Utah and like moving around in the army and stuff, actually, Spanish was my first language. Then I knew German before I knew English.
Wow. How did you get German?
So we went from Utah to Germany. We were stationed in Germany.
You lived in Germany?
Yeah.
Holy stuff. I didn't know this.
So we stayed there for a while to like kindergarten, first grade, and then we went to Louisiana after that.
That's crazy.
So
how do you end up in Germany? Was it like...
So my dad started in Germany, went to Utah, and then they were like, oh, you go back. So I was about the same age as Liam there, about 8 months old when we went back to Germany, and then crazy. I stayed there till like 6, and then went to Louisiana.
Dude, that's insane. And then how do you get to Lawrence from Utah?
So we went Utah, Germany, Louisiana. Yeah. And then Louisiana to Massachusetts. Yeah.
How do you do it?
So we were stationed in Louisiana, good times or whatever, but my dad was active and he wanted to go reserve, and my mama's brother lived up here in Massachusetts, and he thought education was better, and we were getting older, so we moved up here.
That's crazy, man, dude. And this country is so big. Like, you could have 20 different experiences in the same country. I mentioned this. I keep bringing Brian's interview up because there's a lot of similarities into it. Because he started down there, then moved over here, like New York, and so 20 different experiences, man. This country is so damn big. Every state is a different country.
No, it's true.
It's crazy, but that's amazing, man. Anything you might wanna like? What's a message you want to send to the youth? You know, the young people. You know, it's a very interesting time. You want to say difficult when you're at that age, but once you get older, it wasn't really difficult. It was more interesting than difficult.
Right.
Meaning, you're trying to figure out life. What would you, like if you had to tell something to teenage you? What would you tell yourself?
Wow. Stay disciplined. You know. 100% stay disciplined. Again, when I was brought up, before wrestling, before everything, I had the military background, but I was also karate, taekwondo based. Before wrestling, you know, before boxing, it was karate and taekwondo.
You started MMA.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So discipline is always number one when you get that, you know. And then as I grew older, you know, I got in trouble sometimes. I went back and all that. But then when I fell in love with wrestling, I feel like I was really disciplined. And then it wasn't until I became less disciplined that when all these like obstacles and feats and like things that I failed at came, it was when the discipline was lost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, discipline as in doing the right thing, eating the right way, getting your third workout in, if it's a cardio workout or yoga or whatever, going to a hot tub, whatever it may be, but getting that third workout in. Girls, you know, girls, when you're in high school and you're like a junior, senior, now the girls know that you're good at the sport, you know that you might go to college, know that you might be somebody when you grow up. Now they all want to know who you are, what you're about, you know, and staying disciplined as in, you know, knowing to say no, not going to every party, focusing in on the season, not doing these activities that take away from your performance during the season, you know. If we're going to talk it all the way, you know, smoking and drinking and all that stuff, stay disciplined, you know. I know when we go to college even, sometimes when we start going to college, this is our first time away from the house, away from mommy and papi, you know, and then we're with these other young individuals that maybe aren't so determined and eager to get to where you want to get or where your goals are, and they're just kind of going through it, and then they offer you to smoke and drink and chill and party, and then you're in it, And it's just like you really got to stay disciplined because all those no's kind of like move you up, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of, I kind of like tell my friends and my kids and everything about wins and losses. Wins and losses come in life, not just in sports, but also when you make a decision, also when like something presents itself to you, either you saying yes, no, or succeeding in it. Those are all wins and losses. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to collect more wins than losses.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the good thing about when you collect wins, being a coach in sports, again, just mirroring it to life, you catch momentum.
Yes.
You get a couple
Definitely.
wins under your belt, you're doing good, you're saying no, heading the right way, you know, and you start winning and you start catching that momentum, you catch another wins. Now let's say same thing. Now just one loss. Sometimes even though you won 4 in a row, now you get one loss and you should have stayed disciplined or whatever, but now that one loss could catch momentum too. And you could catch a slump. And then you start losing, falling down, getting a little depressed. Now your mental strength and your mental toughness plays a part. Can you bounce back? Are you really who they thought you were, who you thought you were? Can you reflect? Can you stand back and like advise yourself and adjust, but definitely stay disciplined, If I could tell any young kid anything, is stay disciplined because everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants it to like, be given and have fun and be like, they want to celebrate, but that doesn't come without the struggle, without the sacrifice, without the fighting through.
Amen.
Then you could like celebrate at the end. But it doesn't just come just because you did all those things. It's not guaranteed. So like staying disciplined. And I feel like discipline always wins,
Yes.
Discipline always wins. So like if we're training and you're doing everything right and I'm partying, I'm doing this and I'm talented, why should I be able to beat you when you're doing all the right things, And I try to tell kids that because they really do want to have fun. They want to make it a memory, but what better memory than being the man? What better memory than being a champ? What better memory than when they talk about you not being one of those stories that's like kind of like, oh, he could have done. Why not be that story?
Those are the
like,
tough ones, right? Yeah.
Yo, remember when he did this?
Yeah.
Remember when he dominated everybody? When he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He went on 2 crazy years, beat everybody. Those are the stories that we like. Too many times, even myself, even though I feel like I'm a success story, as in I'm helping people and all that stuff, there was a time my story wasn't so successful. It was, if he stayed disciplined, he would have went D1. If he would have stayed disciplined, he would have, he would have kept going. He would have won this. He would have won that, and that's it. Just stay disciplined. What helps you and what doesn't help you as an athlete, too many times, like, I feel like a lot of us and a lot of my athletes too reach that point of being great and they like get scared. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then I think that goes back to being disciplined. Like if you knew you did everything right, if you know you didn't skip a practice, you did every workout, right? Then you would be more confident in what you do. But when you know you're screwing off, when you know you're going for a jog, but you're stopping at your girlfriend's house, you know what I'm saying? Instead of doing your workout, like then you start like second guessing yourself. And that's when like,
I like that, man.
When things can't probably come to fruition and like actually happen because you played around with it, I
think that's the right idea, man. And hopefully, it's a message that hits home for a lot of people, and then they really grasp the idea of like you put in the work regardless of everything else. Like the work is non-negotiable.
Yeah, no.
Like you do it because you have to do it.
Yeah.
The result is something that we can't really control. Right. Like you said, you could do everything right and still lose.
Yeah.
But you keep putting in the work, and eventually that win will come. And then that translates to everything in life. So I like that. Stay disciplined.
Yeah. Stay disciplined.
Well, man, I really enjoy this, man.
Me too, man. Thanks for having me.
It was amazing,
Thank you.
and you have a beautiful story to share.
Thank you, man.
Definitely, it's the fact that I like that it's real, and it's what we go through in life, most of us.
Right.
It's the everyday dad, the everyday young adult trying to figure it out, the everyday teenager who's out there a little bit lost,
Right, yeah.
with some crazy ideas in your head, and you found somebody who can guide you and put you in a path that is like, okay, if I follow this one, I could have some wins in my life, and then the losses that may come, I'm gonna be able to handle them and learn from them and grow from them. So you're a man of faith. You're a family man. Wish you nothing but the best. And
you too, man.
And then from here to just say thank you, man, for sharing your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
And I don't know how many people we could reach with my channel.
Right.
But you reach me, and everything I learned from you, because I take a lot in from real stories, from real people, and then I try to transfer that into every live we get in contact with. So the message goes a long way. So I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you too. Thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
Yo, if you made it this far, you best just subscribe, right? And let us know what you thought, and nothing more, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. See you guys later. Man, that was beautiful, man.
Thanks, bro.
That was beautiful. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it wasn't too uncomfortable. No?
Nah. I think as we went, I got a little better. In the beginning, I was like,
it's normal at the beginning. Here comes the best part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure we actually did record it. Remember I mentioned it. Remember I mentioned that the